1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Good morning, guys.
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys. This is the Hake Report. I am James Hake, host of it. And we are in the fourth hour of July 4th, 2019. I was born in the 19-somethings. So I got, it's an old habit I've been trying to kick for the last 19 years. So, very nice. I'm looking at the opening stream of my show, and Joel, the board operator, has been showing pictures of the 1776 flag, the Betsy Ross flag, the American Revolutionary flag, the 13 stars flag, where it's 13 stars arranged in a circle. And I hope that you caught or enjoyed the Declaration of Independence, truncated, which I read most of, or a lot of, at the beginning of the Jesse Lee Peterson show in the opening news segment. Because I read it, and it is an interesting, inspiring document. I liked it. And I have some details about it that I want to tell you about. But I'm live every day now, every weekday now, on the Jesse Lee Peterson show stream in the fourth hour live on video. And then I put up the podcast, the audio podcast, on my own podcast platform, the Hake Report, which you can find on iTunes, TuneIn, iTunes now called Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. I upload them to SoundCloud, later in the day when I can. And let's see. I'm also streaming live on Jesse's channels, YouTube, not Facebook, because Facebook falsely accused Jesse of hate speech, which I would have to say is libel. And then Twitch, which Amazon owns, as well as the Amazon owner also owns the Washington Post, Jeff Bezos, also falsely accused Jesse of hate speech. And so they've banned him for 30 days, maybe in July 22nd, around there. We'll be back on air on Twitch. And I'm thinking we'll just stream church weekly. See if that makes us last longer and reach more people on Twitch. Because otherwise, we're liable to get kicked off because Twitch is intent on suppressing the hard truth that Jesse tells, the hard truth of love that Jesse tells on his daily radio show. And we're also on mixer.com/JLP Talk currently. Shout out, guys, to the faithful viewers on Mixer. Thank you, guys. And we're also on periscope.tv/JLP Talk. Thank you, guys. So you can follow me on my channels. My channels stream Sundays, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 11 Central, noon Eastern. Yeah. And thank you, Jesse, for letting me be on your stream. This is so fun. Call in live, 9 a.m. Pacific time, Sunday through Friday, 888-775-3773. I wanted to give you a brief thing about the white Americans versus the American Indians. Quick note about the lie that we, meaning America, or the white Americans from back in the day, genocided peaceful Indians. Idiot communists, and brainwashed blacks often say that our nation was built on slavery and genocide. Please. Couple of notes of complaints taken from the Declaration of Independence. I didn't read this part, but I have it here for you right now. These are two of the complaints that the founding fathers listed against the British crown when we declared independence from them. We being not me or you guys, but the founding fathers, the white man, white history. Here is one thing that they say. He, referring to the king or whatever, has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, meaning America, to become executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. So that's evil. And here's another evil thing. He, meaning the British Crown, has excited domestic insurrections against us. Yeah, this is it. This one right here, Joel, is that one. Yeah, he has excited domestic insurrections against us and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. Meaning, these Indian savages, merciless, would kill children, women, men, and old and sick and injured, everybody. So you know how we charged, we being American liberals, charged a Navy SEAL with murder for killing an injured 15 or 17-year-old ISIS fighter? Well, these Indians would not have charged each other for war crimes or murder for undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions of Americans. So we didn't genocide them. These were tough people. And so, just a little clarification. I didn't know that the Indians were mentioned in the Declaration of Independence, but sure enough, they were, and they were not the peaceful people that these people pretend to. They were smoking the peace pipe, according to Jesse, but they were not. They were not just civilized Americans. So y'all were the least of their worries. You're not that important. I believe that spoiler alert, our faithful moderator on YouTube, Jesse Lee Peterson YouTube, has said that the Indians got to take their black slaves with them on the Trail of Tears, which is an infamous or famous incident where the Indians were forced to take the Trail of Tears walk when they were defeated by the Americans for something, to go to their reservation or something like that. But they got to take their slaves with them, their black slaves. And now blacks today act like the Indians were their friends and only the whites were the enemies. And blacks today also pretend like the illegal aliens and the Mexicans who hate them are their friends. And the blacks today pretend like the blacks who they kill one another and degenerate each other with degenerate culture are one another's friends when they're like their most enemies. So just an interesting side note. Independence Day. Happy Independence Day. And I will get to your calls, but I just wanted to say happy Independence Day to all Americans and to the world, anyone who appreciates and benefits from America. There was one line in the Declaration of Independence that I read at the very beginning of Jesse's show at 6 a.m. Pacific time. Enemies in war and in peace, friends. That was a line that they were referring to their British brethren as enemies in war and in peace, friends. And it just reminded me of what President Trump is like. If he's at war with you, he's your enemy. But once the peace is established, once he's beaten you, he's your friend again. And you'll notice that he only fights against people that he's not fighting. I cited Kanye West at one point as somebody who could have been an enemy of Trump, I guess, because Kanye hates whites. You know, he's like accused George W. Bush of hating black people just because of the Hurricane Katrina incident, where Bush was falsely accused of racism in letting the blacks suffer because the blacks refused to evacuate the New Orleans area. And then the Hurricane Katrina came and some of them died, I think. So he falsely accused George Bush of hating black people. And then he he went after Taylor Swift. And he went up on stage and when Taylor Swift won, another singer, won some award at some stupid music award ceremony. And he said that Beyonce had the best album or something, or hip hop, like whatever. I don't know. But he was like, Kanye West has been easily hateable by some people, right? But Trump never talked trash about him because Trump was not fighting with him. Trump only talks trash about the people that he's actually fighting fights with. And if he's not at war with you, he's friends with you in peace. And that's a nice lesson because it's easy to hate on people that have nothing to do with you. Just an interesting side note. Some say that America does more harm than good in the world, right? In regards to other countries. And in a sense, I wouldn't be surprised nowadays, especially because our government certainly does more harm than good to its own people. The people do more harm than good objectively, morally, in terms of look at who we, the people, have voted into office. And I'm talking Democrats as well as rhinos. A lot of us whites have been suckered by the rhinos because maybe we're suckers ourselves. But not so with Trump. Trump is no sucker. You can sucker him now and then, but he's not like the typical politician. And he's not like the typical nice or angry white person. Because the nice whites get suckered by the rhinos sometimes, and the angry whites get suckered by the haters, the white nationalist haters. And I don't go with that liberal blame America crap, even though some may legitimately have complaints about our foreign policy. And sorry about the language with the C word crap. I've said that like 3 times on this stream today. Apologize. Family show. But that leaves no agency. I'm not for those liberals that leave no agency or responsibility with other countries for their own problems. People blame America for all these people coming up here. They falsely accuse America for destroying the South American and Central American countries as the reason why these Central Americans and Mexicans are coming up to America to take advantage of our free stuff and abundant jobs. Not so abundant, but becoming more abundant thanks to Trump. So I blame those people too. You have to blame both, each person for their wrong, or each country for their wrong. I like that point from that Colette writer, Coleman Hughes, the young black liberal intellectual who's anti-reparations and he's anti-affirmative action and he's anti-social justice movement. Because the social justice warriors, the SJWs, put all the agency and responsibility on the whites, but none for the blacks, the POCs, people of color, or the women. Making like everything that they do wrong is not their fault. It's the whites' fault. So, yeah, I really like that point from him that I read about from him. Another Quillette writer, Andy No, this weekend I mentioned he was victimized, and I covered it on Sunday, I believe. He was this Asian reporter, guy up in Portland, Oregon, has covered Antifa. And he was victimized by Antifa. He went in there knowing that they had a hit out on him, but went anyway. He felt a duty to do it or something. And they gave him a brain hemorrhage according to him, saying that he was diagnosed with a brain hemorrhage because they just attacked him, punched him. Some of them kicked him. They threw milkshakes at them. And one witness doesn't believe that they actually had the quick concrete mix in them, but regardless, they were throwing milkshakes hard at him. And there was one image that this witness showed in either this march or another march where a man was hit with a bike lock. And his head was, the skin around his head was split open. And he got like such and such number of staples to sew his head back together. The skin on his head back together all the way through. And it is bad. Because these Antifa, I think that's not the most famous bike lock incident, but I could be wrong. Because there's a famous bike lock incident where it was a professor, I believe, a college professor, Antifa member, hit somebody with a bike lock and he only got like probation or something, or charges dropped, something ridiculous, some low little slap on the wrist. So these Antifa anti-racists are worse than racists, which is a t-shirt idea. Check out the Hake Report Teespring store coming up. I'll be working on adding no new designs to it. But crazy. Idiot anti-racist communists. They're evil. So what do y'all do for Independence Day? I'll tell you what I do in a minute, but I want to go to some calls. The lines are full. Michelle out of South Dakota, first-time caller. Michelle, how are you?
Good. How are you, Hake?
Doing fine, thank you. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, great. Good to hear from you, too. Great show. Congratulations on all week.
Thank you. Yeah, I like it better. It's just more, it's simpler. People don't have to think, is today the day?
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
I was going to say right after Jesse's show, then I just keep watching.
Yeah, it's nice.
If I'm home, if I'm able to. I do keep it on the computer running, so you keep getting your views. So
cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So what's up? You were talking about this generation?
Yes. Okay. So I'm a full-time mom, and my oldest son is on a baseball team. And so I'm able to pick up some of the boys to get them to practice and get them to their games because, there's a lot of working parents. And what I started noticing are these, the scrunchies that women wear.
Yes.
Okay, so I started noticing the boys wearing them on their wrists. Some of the boys, not all the boys. And I started kind of asking questions. I said, "What, do you guys need to do your hair real quick before we get going, or what's the deal?" And he said, "No, these are from our girlfriends." And
what
like,
the?
What? I know. So I'm trying to process this in my mind. I'm saying, okay, so the girls are now giving the boys things. Back in my day, it was kind of like the boys would give the Letterman jackets to the girls.
Yeah. Or hold this in your purse type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my son's old enough now. We allow him to have a girlfriend. My husband was not on board with that, but I, poked and prodded and said, "Oh, no, it's okay. We do set rules for him."
Yeah. How old is he?
He comes home with one. He's 14. He comes home with one, and I said, "Nope, you can keep it, but you will not be putting that on your wrist. That is not how this role works."
Wow, that's so strange. And that's over in South Dakota?
South Dakota, yeah. And it's not just, one or two. You're seeing like 3, 4, these boys putting them on their wrists. And it's almost like, the girls are marking the boys like he's mine type thing. Like, this is my boyfriend, or
that
when
is
it was
terrible.
Back in our day,
yep.
The roles were reversed where the boys were saying, "Yeah, she's my girl." And I don't know. It's just
right.
You see the women taking control of the men. You do this and you do that, and it's just not the way it's supposed to be. And you see it happening with some in the younger generation. Now I do tease the boys a little bit. Like, "Oh, it's time to do your hair. We'll wait before we go."
Yeah, because they need to.
Maybe it's kind of
something needs to wake them up to let them know that it's insane. And it's not, and you're not just old. It's not just a generational thing.
Yeah,
Some of them are just roll their eyes but if you wake them up like that, maybe they'll listen.
Well,
what does your husband have to say about it?
Well, he wasn't on board with our son even having a girlfriend. It's not something he wants him to focus on. But then here's me, the lady saying, "Oh no, it's there's other boys. We can set some rules. It's okay." And so he gave in to me. Yeah. And, he's still not happy about it, but he has set rules for our son. And, I'm okay with that. There's not a lot of time spent. We do make sure that the priorities are, finding a job, school, and, baseball, where the boys are, where your friends are. You should be practicing, and you should be out on the field and not worrying about the girls. So
yeah.
I did talk to some of the mothers about it, too. When the boys are playing their games, we kind of stand back behind the fences and, we're cheering them on. And we talk, we talk about other things going on. And I did express, what I expressed to you to them, and some of them just kind of looked at me like, oh, maybe you have a point.
Yeah, that's awful. It's because each generation of parents is more and more immature, I think.
Well, and I don't know if they see, maybe the mothers see it as how cute. I think it's cute.
That's terrible.
And I was like, no, that's setting them up to not be the leaders in their family. They should be the leaders.
So how come,
men are the leaders
let me ask, how come you forced the issue with letting your son date at 14?
Because I'm weak. Well, okay.
So your son was pressuring you, and so you pressured the dad?
Well, he had talked about it, and even kids in 6th grade were having, they're dating.
Yeah, I know.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care. That's not what you're going to do. You're too young for that. You're too young for that. But then when he got to be 14, there was a girl. We've met her. We've met her family. I've talked with her mom several times on the phone. I've been over to their home.
Man, that's crazy.
We set rules that if she comes over, there's no room, no door closed. And I think for me, it started as, well, eventually he's going to have to meet a girl, that he's going to have to learn how to be around girls. And my husband's like, no, he's not. Are you stop talking like that, And so we've had discussions about that. Now we do have younger children.
But when you say you were weak, were you weak for your son, or were you weak about the outer world?
I think the outer world.
Oh man,
and my son,
that's terrible.
My son, he knows how to, get to mom first,
and then your husband's
weak,
and then your husband's weak to you, because he gave in, even though he still doesn't like it.
Yes,
man, that's terrible.
Yes, we're working on it.
I suggest, just my suggestion, that you go back to what your husband thinks is best, because he can still learn to talk to girls just as regular friends and not date them at 14. I mean, I know a lot of people do that, right? And I'm not saying my parents did it right, but my mother anyways, I didn't really hear from my father on this issue, was my mother's rule was you can't date until you're 16. And that's just 2 more years, and that's nothing for a kid. And that meanwhile, the kid can learn to just be a regular friend, especially since nowadays you're not even supposed to have sex until you're a full-grown adult at 18 or get married, unless I don't know, I don't think you can even do that. But there's what's the big deal of not being allowed to have a girlfriend until you're 16 or so? Yeah.
No, I agree.
I think your whole family did.
When you say I should go back
it's just an idea. I don't know. It's kind of a subjective thing in my mind.
No, it's a great idea, and my husband would be right on board with that. He'd be like, "You're done. We're not doing this anymore. You guys can talk to each other on the phone."
It's a shame that your husband doesn't put his foot down, though.
I know.
Anyways, whatever. I don't know the situation.
I understand. No, we both.
But that's a bad sign about the scrunchies on the wrist. That's not cute.
It's not cute. It's not. It's taking the role. It's flipping the role of the leader of the family, and we saw that right away. And that's why we told him, "You can keep that. It's nice that she'd want to give you something, but you're not putting that on.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. That you should be embarrassed by that. It's the other way around. But when you said you should tell him that, he doesn't need a girlfriend until he's 16 or even 18, my heart all of a sudden goes, but then he'll be upset that he doesn't get to be with his girl. Right away, my first thought is, I don't know.
If you guys want counseling, are you aware that Jesse offers private counseling?
Yes, I am, and I listen to Jesse's show every morning.
Yeah.
As long as I can, until it's time to get the kids outside or, do some errands. I do jump in the chat every once in a while, too.
I'll just tell you, Michelle, just a heads up, listening to the truth and agreeing with the truth and all this stuff, it's no protection against messing up your family and your kids.
I know. And listening to you and just, I know, Hake.
Just FYI. I appreciate it, Michelle. Happy White History Month.
Yeah, Happy White History Month, and then we went to a great parade. That's how we celebrated, and then we're going to go swimming and do a barbecue. So
right
happy
on.
4th of July. Love the shirt, too.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I got this shirt. I got it online during the whole George Zimmerman shenanigans when they were really going after him.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Huh?
I appreciate it, Michelle. Take care.
All right, take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Kyle out of Denver, Colorado. How are you doing, Kyle?
Hey, happy 4th of July.
Thank you. Happy 4th of July, Independence Day.
Yeah, I don't think, the millennials, or a lot of them, there's some of them that, see the truth, but a lot of them don't realize that America's like one of the few true democracies.
Not democracy, but
England, they're controlled by elites.
Yeah. Well, even America's, I mean, it's not a democracy, it's a republic. Meaning that it's not just mob rule. It's representative. You can democratically vote for your congressman, and they screwed it up and said that the people can elect their senators too, when I think it's the congressmen who are supposed to elect the senators, or the state legislature or something. I don't know. But they messed it up and made it so that the congressmen and senators are voted by the same people. But it's like a representative, it's a republic, and it's a constitutional republic. So, but they've turned it into more like democracy by bringing in all these people, these socialist voters, which, it's going to turn into a socialist or, authoritarian type of leftist, anti-God, anti-Christian, anti-American, anti-freedom government. And so it's kind of, even that is, we're kind of controlled by elites. But you're right that it started out pretty well, I think, seemingly. And the people who ran it and who started it seemed to be of good, strong character. And that's kind of taken a huge dive to where, like, even like the good conservative people are, most of them or us are kind of like a joke. Can't even really fight right. So it's, but anyways, people do not have the proper respect or appreciation for what America is and has been and is supposed to be and could be.
Well, that's what I was saying. They had I forgot the guy's name. That was a French.
That guy that toured the United States. I'm blanking on his name too, but I know who you're talking about. He's a writer from way back in the day. What was the point that he was going to say, that he said, that you wanted to bring up?
No, I was talking about, they had this, I think it was like Van Gogh anyway, they had like his housekeeper or groundskeeper. He left a bunch of prints to that guy, and
okay.
And he didn't really know what they were worth. He started going through them, and then he went and he sold, tried to sell them on eBay, and they were worth a lot of money. And the great grandson of this artist, he had wealth, and because he was wealth and had influence, the courts not even they didn't even have any evidence. They just said, well, it's your word. You don't have a lot of money. We're going to give the money to this guy. And they almost imprisoned him, but they didn't. So I'm like, that's what you're facing in Europe. So these guys need to realize, hey, we do have it good here.
Yeah, I know. Like free speech, which we're losing, and innocent unless proven guilty, and all kinds of stuff like that, which we're also losing. It's
no man is better than another.
Yeah.
In America.
I appreciate that, Kyle.
Yeah. I was just gonna weigh in on that, but you have a good day and happy White History Month.
Thank you. Same to you.
Talk to you later.
All right. Take care, man. Alexis de Tocqueville is what he made me think of when he brought up the French guy. He was a French diplomat and historian. And he is best known for his works, Democracy in America. And I don't know if democracy is the right word, but he had some interesting quotes that I liked. So, let me bring up some things about this Betsy Ross flag, because it was a big controversy this week when Colin Kaepernick, thug who sat out the national anthem because he hates America and he hates, the military and the good people. He hates the cops. He hates black people, pretends to care about them. He hates the people of color and pretends to stand up for, justice for them. So this Nike company was going to come up with a shoe. They did actually, and send it to distributors, retailers. They sent it to retailers to sell, starting like Monday. And also on Monday, I guess they got a note from Colin Kaepernick after they circulated online, saying, "Don't put these up. It has a reference to slavery, and a lot of white nationalists supposedly use this flag." So I have pictures of different instances in which this was used way back, even by Obama. Stupid. He was a disgraceful president, but it's a nice flag. Show those pictures. So this was a painting back in the 19-teens of Betsy Ross showing George Washington the flag way back in the 1770s or so. And she came up with that flag with the stars. And this is a picture of the flag flying over San Francisco, California in like 2009. So even San Francisco had the sense to fly a decent flag, even though it's an indecent city nowadays. And here are the flags: the Betsy Ross flag, the Revolutionary flag, in front of where Obama was about to be inaugurated, or had just been inaugurated maybe, in 2009, his first inauguration. Crazy, huh? And the 13 stars represented the 13 colonies from which 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence came and declared independence from Britain, and then we became a country, and we became the greatest country in the world, where everybody wants to come in. The Betsy Ross design displayed at the first inauguration of Barack Obama. What a shame that we inaugurated him. It has been used at it has often been used at presidential inaugurations. So there you have it. And I think there are a few other instances of it being used. Maybe that's it. But yeah, there you go. What do you all do for Independence Day? And then I'll get to some callers. I always went. Oh yeah, show that one. I just saw one out of the corner of my eye. The Department of Veterans Affairs, United States of America. I told you Kaepernick hates the veterans. The Betsy Ross flag is featured on the seal of the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, the VA, together with the modern United States flag to represent veterans throughout United States history. He hates our history, he hates our flag, he hates our country. He hates everything. He was adopted. And not just adopted, he got a Muslim girlfriend and then turned anti-Christian. That's a very nice seal. And President Trump is all about fixing the VA because the VA has failed the veterans, is what I heard. And even under Obama, lots of corruption. Under Obama, they had this Asian man who was the head of the VA, and I think he might have resigned. But the VA is very corrupt, very slow, kind of like the DMV and any government bureaucracy, just not serving the people the way that it should be. So, yeah. I'm going to get to some calls real quick, but I just want to mention what I always did for Independence Day as a kid growing up. I always went to my grandma and grandpa's house on my mother's side, my mom's side, for barbecue hamburgers and hot dogs, homemade hand-cranked ice cream that we would crank in these old-fashioned ice cream cranks, vanilla ice cream. It was good. We would go swimming with the cousins, light up street fireworks, legal ones, none from Mexico that I knew of, and had, I don't know, when my nieces and nephews started coming along, I was in my teens and 20s, the nieces and nephews would have a parade walking from their house to my grandmother's house because they all kind of lived close. I had a nice family, including extended family, or have, I guess I should say. Everybody on my mother's side stayed close. My uncle said that my grandmother would not have her children, or grandchildren, by the way, basically, leave the area. So we would always have like family birthday parties, Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and whatever else celebrations. Like practically monthly, all throughout growing up, going over to my grandmother's house. We would go swimming at her house, eat cookies, cake and ice cream, candy, all kinds of mess. I can just imagine what Jesse would say about the fact that none of the kids left the area, and that my uncle claims that it was because my grandmother wouldn't have them leave. I remember one time one cousin left, moved somewhere, and man, people were a mess about it. They were upset. They could not get over it. They were, I don't know, there were some actual anger finally came out of that incident. Might be why I'm like this, white, nice, Christian, conservative. But the niceness is something that we got to get over. The white people got to get to becoming men again, not run and kept in one place by the women. Just mentioning that. So what do you guys do for Independence Day? And today, I don't know. I may go out, see some friends, family. Otherwise, I may just relax and pause and appreciate like Jesse always recommends people do. Brad, out of Texas, first-time caller. Brad, how are you doing?
Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, nice to hear from you.
Nice to hear from you, too, man. I was just calling to wish you a happy 4th and congrats on the 6 days a week, man.
Thank you.
Love your show and Jesse's show.
Cool. Right on, man. Thank you.
And I'm going to be barbecuing and watching the fireworks.
Right on.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
What part of Texas are you in, if you don't mind my asking?
Oh, East Texas, Tyler.
Okay.
And
East
this
Texas.
is Snow Goose from Live Chat.
Oh, nice.
I just want to give a shout-out to everybody. So
Right on, Snow Goose. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
you
man.
identifying yourself so I can put a screen name to your name and a voice.
And my white person I want to celebrate
Yes.
is Audie Murphy. He was a true American hero.
Audie Murphy. I want to say that I heard of him from maybe Bible Go-To Guy or somebody. Somebody honored him in a recent, maybe it was last year. It might have been last year. Somebody honored him either for White History Month or for some Veterans Day or Memorial Day or something. That's cool, man. Audie Murphy, tell me briefly a little bit about him.
Yeah, he was from Texas and joined the Army and became the most decorated GI from the United States. And then he became a movie star, so he began a pretty good acting career after that.
What era was he? Which wars or war?
World War II.
Okay.
And he fought against the Germans, I guess, in Europe, Belgium, and France.
Okay.
And he even won service medals over there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was pretty cool. Medal of Honor, all that.
That's nice. I like people that are just bold and go for it, and they're effective people. I know people like that, and those are the best kind of, like President Trump. Make it happen type of person.
Yeah.
Confident. And confident means like God is with you, kind of.
Yeah.
Unless it's fake confidence, but the real confident people, it's like inspiring.
Yeah.
It's like a mirror of what we're supposed to be. It's like a reminder. That's nice.
You're right.
That's
cool. I just wanted to call and say that I don't want to waste time, and I'm going to let Maze get in, I guess.
Right on, man. Brad, Snow Goose. That's cool.
Yeah.
From East Texas.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Happy 4th. God
Thank
bless.
You as well, Snow Goose. Brad, take care.
You too. Thanks.
Bye. When I say Snow Goose, I feel like I'm giving a G.I. Joe name. You know, with G.I. Joe, which was like an 80s, 90s army toys and cartoon. And it became like a movie, too. Real American Hero. Hollywood, of course, changed it to Real International Hero. So stupid, globalists. But Real American Hero. I felt like I was calling him by his code name, Snow Goose. G.I. Joe. Greg out of Washington. How are you doing, Greg?
Hey, great. I'm going to take you off my blue. And is this
All right.
better?
Yes, much better, Greg. I appreciate that. You're lucky.
You're welcome. So we're about 4 blocks from the parade in D.C.
Nice.
I just texted you a picture of some people with all dressed up for the parade.
Okay,
I don't know
nice.
if you got it yet.
All right. Yeah.
and-
Nick got it. Nick got it, and he'll transfer it over to Joel. I'm hoping. I think we have time.
Okay, good. Yeah, we'll collect a whole bunch of pictures today and have them for tomorrow's show. Maybe we can do a video as well.
Nice.
So I'm friends with the Delaware Trump campaign head, and so he got us some good tickets for the Trump will be speaking on the Washington Mall later. I think at 3:00 this afternoon.
Okay. Nice. Right on, man. Yeah, you know what? There's another guy who also wanted to be our East Coast correspondent. I think his name was something to do with Beta Boot Camp. And I appreciate you guys' willingness and helpfulness in helping out the show, reporting from the East Coast.
Yeah, the other thing I plan to do, I live near Philadelphia, is I plan with some friends to do some White History Month original videos, things like George Washington, William Penn, do one from Valley Forge. So we'll be working on that in the upcoming week or so.
Sweet. White history.
Yes. I got my first Humvee on my right here. Just as we're walking up, so we're starting to see, how they kind
Military
of
vehicles, huh? Nice.
Yeah, queue for the parade. And we did see some jets fly over earlier, but it's a very festive atmosphere. A lot of people here, a lot of very happy people, surprising amount of black people, which I didn't necessarily know, because I've been to Tea Party events here. I've been to it was at Trump's inauguration, and it's definitely a different feeling, much more relaxed than those events.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the inauguration.
Watch out for Antifa, though, still.
No,
Antifa
you're right.
went wild
Head
on
a
Inauguration
swivel.
Day.
Absolutely, head on a swivel. I haven't seen any protesters yet,
Okay.
but we're not quite that close.
All right. You wearing any Trump gear?
No, actually, I am wearing a red shirt. I left my MAGA hat at home.
All right.
And
Probably
just
smart.
went with the red shirt. I've got a red shirt with a military plane on it, so
Nice.
kind of in the mood. But a lot of flags, a lot of everybody wearing, red, white, and blue, that sort of thing.
Joel, do we have that picture of let's just show it while we have Greg on air. Is that him? You have pictures of some like a black girl and another girl and
they were just a random set of people that I came across on the way. I like the fact they were all dressed up.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I had to test them a little bit. I don't know if you're showing the picture, but 2 of the 3 people are black. And I said, I want to take your picture. I want to post it on the Jesse Lee Peterson show.
Right
They
on.
said, who's that? I said, he's a black conservative from L.A. They said, right on.
Nice. Appreciate that, Greg. So that's is that D.C.?
What's that?
Is that Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're just. I wish I had I had you video phone. We're walking right into in about a block and a half. It looks like either an armored vehicle, a Humvee with a machine gun on top,
Nice.
or a tank. I can't quite tell. There's so many people, you only see the top of it. A lot of obviously patriots here. A lot of military people. You get these guys, they're about 35 years old. You can tell they're just ripped from working out.
Yeah.
And, they got like camouflage kind of fatigue pants on and, some kind of muscle shirt. And So it's a good, healthy, kind of all-American crowd.
Yeah. Right on, Greg. Appreciate the report. Thank you.
Yeah, and if anything exciting happens, I will let you know. We're just stepping up to the infamous Pennsylvania Avenue, and we'll be near the White House shortly. Well, by the way, I haven't congratulated you. Congratulations on 6 days a week.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Greg.
You're the hardest working man this side of heaven, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of don't think so, but I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, enjoy the 4th, and hello to everybody there at Bond.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Let me get to David. David out of Kentucky. How are you doing, David?
Oh, fine, James, and happy 4th of July to you, sir.
Thank you. Happy 4th of July to you. It is Independence Day. So nice.
Yes, it sure is. It's a great day.
Yeah.
And I was listening to your last caller, and I was flipping over on YouTube, and I was watching the parade. It's streaming live, and I was really impressed.
That's great, man. Trump knows how to put together events.
If you don't have any plans after your show, you should watch it, too, a little bit. It's
yeah,
great.
I'll check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the tip.
I just want to say happy holiday to you, too. And
thanks, man.
To all your listeners, I love your show.
Cool. By the way, David, do you catch church with Jesse Lee Peterson?
Oh, every Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Nice. At 1 o'clock your time, huh?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
1 o'clock my time.
Cool.
And I'll tell you, hey, did Jesse ever find out who the husband or the wife was of that homosexual preacher?
Yes, the homosexual preacher on the Fallen State who walked off and said, you're just BSing me, when Jesse was just being like a child.
Which one was the husband?
So,
which one was the husband?
Oh, I see what you're asking. That is a good question. I don't know if Jesse can make a solid judgment on which one is the husband and which is the wife.
Jesse asked that question, and that's when they walked out.
Right. Yep.
I'm still asking the same question.
Yeah. It's a good question. It's kind of I think it's a wake-up question. And some people think it's a BS or a trolling question, but Jesse wasn't saying it to troll him. Jesse doesn't.
No, that's a straight, honest
he doesn't
question.
try to provoke people. Some people on Periscope, some guy on Periscope was accusing Jesse of trying to make blacks mad. No, he's trying to wake them up. He's all about love. He's not trying to, because when you're angry at somebody, the worst thing that you can do besides like killing them or doing something like evil like that towards them is to make them mad. That's what you try to do, make them mad. But Jesse's not like that. He's not vindictive. He loves black people. That's why he tells the truth about them, the hard, cold truth about them. Well, and he'll notice that he does the same thing about everybody. He treats whites the same way. But they're like, you never talk about white people. Yeah, he does. He talks about the white rhinos. He talks about the white nice conservatives who even call into his show and love him or pretend to love him. And he's like straight up with them. And he talks about even like the alt-right types that if they're blaming Jews or angry or something, they got to get over that. They can talk about the issues, but just don't be angry and blame. And a lot of people are in denial about the anger and blame that they have within. And it causes mental illness among all of the ideologies.
I was just blocked on Facebook. I seen a picture of these Antifa people holding a communist flag.
Yeah.
And I made a comment, and Facebook came back and said, this comment will not be viewed, and do not put anything on there like that again.
Yeah, Facebook is not for conservatives or Christians or whites or men. It's for appealing to the worst in the POCs, the women, the homosexuals, transgenders, and all that. They believe in this fake idea called hate speech, which is really if you're not promoting degeneracy, then you're promoting hate in their minds. And that's why Amazon banned this conversion therapy book, or these books by this one doctor who wanted to help parents. Maybe he didn't know exactly how to help them. He was a psychologist and intellectual apparently, but maybe he didn't help them in the right way, but he was trying to help, and they banned him. But meanwhile, all these liberals who are trying to so-called help the homosexuals by making them accept the evil within and the degeneracy within, which doesn't help them, it makes them worse, are getting the green light from these people. So these it's an evil world appealing to the worst in people. And it's made to make us mad, too. They like making the conservatives mad because then they can call the conservatives, oh, they're just angry and hateful, which in a sense, they're right. But in another sense, we're right, and we have to get past the anger part and overcome the world, kind of like Trump is, like the real Christians are, that are waking up, that you hear almost every day on Jesse's show. It's so nice. It's so encouraging.
All right.
Appreciate it, David.
Can I ask
yeah,
you
of
one
course.
question? What is a ninja guinea?
All right, I'll tell you. Okay, so you give super chats on YouTube, I happen to know, and you don't exactly know how to give a comment along with it. But on dlive.tv/Jesse Lee Peterson, it's another platform on which you can give something called Lino, which is a cryptocurrency. And you get Lino by either streaming or blah, blah, blah. You can give money and get Lino from it. It's this imaginary money, basically, but it can turn into real money. And I said blah, 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 like Joel. And so they have 1,000 Lino makes a ninja guinea. And it's just like okay, the Japanese like to be cute, and I think this was made by Japanese people, this DLive platform. Right. So you can give lemons, which is 1 Lino, which is basically a cent. You can give...
Okay, no. You need more callers. I don't want to...
Okay.
Oh, my God.
All right, you can give lemons, ice cream, diamonds, ninja guineas, or ninjettes, and those are different amounts of tens or scales of 10 of Lino.
But no sweet potato pie.
Right. So diamonds and ninja guineas and ninjettes, you can give a super chat along with. You can give a comment along with it. So
I'm gonna get help. I'm gonna get help.
And get on DLive. The nice thing about DLive is it doesn't take your money. It doesn't tax your money. YouTube allegedly likes to take a cut. I've heard they'd like to take 30% of what you guys give to us. That's what I've heard.
Really?
And that's what they charge for being on the platform and utilizing or using. Utilize is a superfluous word.
Even to a nonprofit organization?
Yeah, I don't think that they care. And YouTube, too, believes in that hate speech stuff. They gave Jesse a warning recently for imaginary hate speech.
I got one this morning, and I didn't really say anything really that bad.
Right. Yeah, I've gotten one on Twitter even. I was suspended on Twitter until I deleted the thing. It was and it was a true statement just about crime stats. They don't care about the truth, and they don't care about actual hate. They make up this imaginary idea of hate. It's an imitation of decency that they're portraying.
James, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, nice to hear from you, David. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care.
Have a great day, sir.
You as well. Bye. Let's see, Isaac out of Chicago. First-time caller. Isaac, how are you doing?
Hey, Hank, how are you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
I just wanted to know if you had to pick one Democratic Party who would get the nominee, who would you think would get it?
My guess is kind of... I think Jesse's right. I think it would be Kamala that would win it. You know, if it was my pick, I would pick that Hawaiian woman. She seems like the least dishonest, but she's still pretty dishonest. You know, Democrat. Yeah. That Hawaiian woman, I can't remember her name. And nobody can because, well, some people can because people are fans. The independent-minded Democrats who aren't as corrupt, they're still corrupt, but they're not as corrupt. They like her, and so because of that, I kind of like her too. She's the one who's not for all these wars and stuff. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard. But I think that it would be a Kamala. What's that?
You think she could beat Trump? You think she could beat Trump?
If we continue a moral slide, yes, she can, but in reality, I really don't see it happening. I think Trump is going to win. I predicted from the start that he would win and that he would be reelected once he won. I was like, he's going to get reelected. I made a bet with somebody actually, because this guy thought that he was going to get impeached and kicked out of office or resign within a matter of months, and I was like, no. So,
question.
Yeah.
You know how they all raise their hands and they say they'll give free health care for illegal immigrants?
Yes.
Do you think they'll actually pursue it, or are they just trying to pander to some people?
That's a good question. I know that it's already happening, in all honesty. There are both so-called legal ways and illegal ways that the illegals are getting health care. And then they're just exploiting the emergency room situation. But that's a good question. I think that they would eventually do it because they always push towards more and more evil, you notice. Like at first it was just, don't ask, don't tell. They let the gays serve in the military, but it's just don't tell. Yeah. And then they said, okay, tell, and you're welcome to be in here. And then the transgenders are welcome, and then. So it just continues to get worse and worse. And so these people are getting more and more corrupt. And then, they really don't care about those people either. They'll let them suffer
they just
the
want
consequences.
Votes. That's all.
Yeah.
But they can't vote because they're illegal.
Right. Well, some of them might.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Thanks for calling. Picking me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Isaac. Happy White History Month and happy 4th of July.
You too.
Thanks. Take care. Ryan out of Ohio. Ryan, how you doing?
Hola. Hey.
Hola.
Hogs here. I just want to give a special shout out to Jesse Lee Peterson's #1 super fan, Marcus Jones, in chat.
I saw Marcus Jones in the live chat in YouTube, and he put the thumbs down for those blacks and that white guy who were in Greg's photograph up in DC for celebrating 4th of July, and then he's like, just kidding, that's beautiful. But he is a faithful viewer and detractor.
He's relentless.
Yeah.
He is relentless.
Yep, right on.
But I got something for you. The next time Mays calls, you need to ask her about the Dayton City, the city commissioners that were all indicted for corruption charges, money laundering and whatever.
Out of Dayton?
Yeah, Dayton, Ohio.
Wow. Okay.
And one of them went ahead and pled guilty. He was convicted this past Monday.
Wow.
Yep. They black.
Shameful.
The
I
mayor,
laugh, but it's like not right. Say it again.
The mayor, Nan Whaley, she's white, but she acts like she's wanting to make Dayton a sanctuary city.
Man.
She's trying to do that herself. But hey, ask Mays. Mays calls up with all this crazy stuff today. Mays, what are you doing in your own city?
Yeah.
Nothing.
All right, Ryan.
Hey, happy Independence Day.
Thank you.
Later.
All right, take care. Happy Independence Day, guys. I didn't get to everything I wanted to talk about. Let me get to some of the D Live chats. Jimmy DM says, barbecue and fireworks this day. And he says, Jesus was God and man in one person. That God and man might be happy together again. So is George Whitefield. That's a quote. Interesting. He says, amazing, too. Very nice. Appreciate those D Lives. And thank you to the Streamlabs supporters. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you tomorrow for Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Have a good, safe holiday. Stay aware, as Jesse warned on Sunday, because there are all kinds of madness going on in the world right now. So be cautious, be careful, be wise. And I'll get to some more of this other stuff tomorrow. Take care, guys.